and a very good afternoon to all of you present here today. Thank you so much. And indeed, I'm very glad to interact with you. We'll be interacting with you more rather than me giving out a presentation here. So, let me just warm up the session by asking how many of you really have knack in public speaking, or you know what is public speaking? Let's make it interactive because it's a two-way communication. Because if I keep on talking continuously, one point you might tend to feel sleepy. Anyways, it's after lunch, it's post lunch session. So let's make it interactive. So how many of you really know what is public speaking? Any idea? You can unmute and give your opinion. Anybody? Why all are quiet?
Madam, public speaking may be in spontaneous or at a given point of time that a subject may be defined also, or at sometimes there is no subject but you have to speak fluently.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, absolutely. Like there is no but sometimes we just talk like it's called an extempore, or sometimes it is a planned one. But I would like to hear. Thank you so much, sir, for the valuable input. But I would like to know from the students out here how many of you are really interested in public speaking, want to go ahead and have a very good career in public speaking, or how many of you really know what is public speaking? Because what happens is that the minute we try to think of public speaking, we just start sweating, or we get nervous, our voice starts our voice starts quivering, our hands become shaky. So these are the few things which usually happens. Okay, so I would like to know that how many of you are really comfortable with public speaking. Let me put across in this way: how many of you are really comfortable with public speaking?
Yeah, ma'am.
Students, please respond because yes.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm fully comfortable in public speaking.
Great, great, great. So, so how do you feel? So, you want to pursue your career in public speaking, or how is it like?
Ma'am, the art of effective oral communication.
Well, okay, good response. Art of oral communication. So, do you think that communication is the only thing requirement for public speaking? How many of you agree to that? Only if you can communicate very well, you are an what to say, you are an effective public speaker, or you are a successful public speaker. Yes, students, please respond and interact. Here we are together going to have an interactive session. So you can go ahead and share your views and opinion.
Madam, good public speaking is required in all sphere of life. In home also, in mall also, and whenever you go, whenever you want to present something, it must be clear and audible to the listeners.
Thank you, sir, once again. So, sir is telling like every sphere of life we do some kind of public speaking. Yes, everywhere it's public speaking is required because what we want to communicate to the other person must be very clear, and the other person must be able to comprehend that properly. That if the other person is able to comprehend whatever I am trying to communicate, then only I can become a successful public speaker. Well, to start off with, so I would like to ask you one more question. Do you think like
I,
public speakers are born? Yes, please. Yes, Mr. Venkatesh, please go ahead.
sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Uh,
Yeah.
not only just of the communication, there should be effective
Yes, that's what exactly I was asking the question that like only if we have a very good communication skill are we really a good public speaker, or do we need something else apart from communication? Exactly, that was the question what I had posed sometimes back. So Mahesh sir had given a reply that answer to that, saying that everywhere we need public speaking, which is absolutely true. So can you tell me, like, one more question I would like to ask is it public speaking something which we are born with, or it can be acquired? What is it like?
No, it can be acquired, man. It can be born. So we need to acquire that public speaking skills, and we need to get to know what it is. Then we can do better.
Yes, because many like there is a myth which the belief is that like public speakers are born, okay, just like leaders are born, not made. So it's something like that. But what I feel is this is a part of soft skill which can be acquired by anybody. Now, public speaking, it's an effective way to communicate to the audience. Now, first of all, there are few things which we have to keep in mind. Now, do we really know our audience? Do we know our target audience? That is very important. We must know our target audience. Whom are we communicating to? If we know that with whom we are communicating, things become very easy, because like we are not going to deliver the same content to some school children when we are addressing the school children, but our content would differ when we are delivering a presentation in a corporate, or to a class of students, or to the grown up students. It would differ definitely. So we should be very clear who are our target audience. That's the first criteria. Now, after that, what is important is how well we prepare our presentation. Now, how well we prepare our presentation means, like, do we have to go ahead and write each and everything in the slide? Do you agree to that? Are you going to write down everything in the PowerPoint? Tell me, students, please tell me, please interact. I want
Sorry,
you,
ma'am.
all of you, to interact with me.
Ma'am, it must not be
No,
everything, but main points.
very good. Yes, sir. That's again correct. I want the students to interact. Students, come on, please interact. So, do you think that are you going to write down each and everything on your PowerPoint while preparing a presentation? Are you going to do that?
No, ma'am.
What is the so what do we do usually? What formula do we usually follow in this respect? Can you just go ahead and tell me? Anybody, any idea?
Not only each and every point should be written, ma'am. There are some points which are so important and which can be written and which can be delivered to the public.
Yeah, correct. But can you tell me, like, there's a particular formula to it? Like, we say it's a five rule formula. Now, what is a five rule formula? Maximum you can have like five slides, five lines on a slide, and five words in a line. Per line, you can have just five words. Now, if the you must be very tactful while preparing the presentation. Now, why I am emphasizing on the presentation part is, if the audience keep on reading the presentation, they won't listen to you. They would feel that they would go ahead and prefer to read the presentation than listening to it. So the art of preparing the presentation is also very important. And only presentation is important, or something else also is required for public speaking apart from the presentation? What do you feel? Anybody?
Communication, presentation with communication, and we have a general
See,
knowledge.
I am keeping the communication criteria apart, and I am just now talking about, yes, you are absolutely right, communication. Now, as per Warren Buffett, he has said that 95% of the people are successful because of their communication skills. That's awesome. That's absolutely right. Now, if I only communicate without the content, would that be effective in front of the audience? Or you
No,
need
ma'am. No,
something more to it?
no, something more we need
So,
to do. But
yes, yes. What is that something more you need to do?
Something unique, like on which topic we were giving a presentation. We need to add something
Mm-hmm.
unique in that every audience who are listening to us can be get inspired or can be get motivated.
Yes, that is also part of your communication strategy, because the way you communicate, you need to capture your audience. Your audience is going to be a mixed audience, because some would be really logical, some would be really emotional audience. Okay, so there is a different way to capture that two categories of audience. Fine, that I'll come to that after some time. But can you tell me that what is the other point? What apart from presentation we need to keep our mind in our mind is our body language. Don't you feel that body language plays an important role?
Yeah, ma'am. Body language is the important role because the way
Yes.
how we communicate. Yeah. So our body language
Yes. So
differs and tells each and everything.
The tone we use, ma'am.
exactly. Now what happened is that
Madam,
yes, somebody was
that
talking about.
that body language depicts the what is it called confidence level of the speaker. Body
Absolutely, sir.
language
That is absolutely correct. Now,
body language show the confidence of the speaker, how confident he is.
absolutely. Now, I do absolutely agree to that. However, there are some people who what they do is they keep while presenting they tend to become nervous, and in order to camouflage the entire nervousness, they put their hands inside the pocket. They stick their hands inside the pocket. They keep on walking here and there, one end to the other aisle. So those things must be avoided, because we are trying to communicate with our audience, not to project our nervousness. Now, the only way wherein we can, overcome all these things is by preparing the content well. If we know our content, we can target our audience. Now, I was talking to you about two categories of audience. One category will be very logical. So, how will you connect to those audience? You can connect to those kind of audience by giving some facts and figures. Like they want numbers. They want some kind of facts and what is going on, the real numbers, so that they can logically be satisfied. Okay, and some one category would be very emotional audience, where you can just talk to them, you can deliver your content, and they will get connected. Now our aim in public speaking is not to address the audience, and once the audience is out of the hall, or seminar hall, they forget the entire thing. No, we need to build a kind of strong connection and a bond with our audience. Then only we will be an effective public speaker. And now some people deliver, okay, so that registers in the mind of the uh, audience. Some tend to forget the things, but once the audience, we can strike the right chord of the audience heart, we are a successful public speaker. Now I have seen that now communication is very, very important. While we are delivering, we are addressing the audience. But I have seen that many places that some people are not at all a good communicator. Their communication, they are lagging. They have a lot of grammatical errors. There are a lot of flaws while they are talking. But at the same time, are they have created an impact on the audience. How did they do that with their content? So here, content development plays a very important role in public speaking. And content development means we need not go ahead and refer the slides for that. We need to have a direct eye contact with the audience, and we need to talk. We need to take their questions. We need to value their emotions. Do you agree or not? Tell me how many of you agree, or do you have a different opinion about it? Students, I want everyone to interact out here. Please,
Yeah,
it's a request. I want everyone to interact.
yeah, I agree, ma'am. Content development should be done, ma'am.
course,
We
ma'am.
need to take everyone's opinion, ma'am.
Correct. And one more thing, Now, communication are of two types. Now, being MBA students, can you tell me what are the different types of communication? One is okay,
Formal
we
and
know
informal, ma'am.
how to communicate, but what are yes, please tell me.
Formal communication and informal communication.
Very good, very good. Yes, formal, informal, direct, indirect, formal, informal. Well, so while we are communicating
Oral and
to
written
our
communication.
audience, are we going to be formal or informal? Very good, very good. Oral and written communication. So if I take everyone's point of view, now when we are communicating to our audience, are we going to uh, use the oral communication or what kind of communication are we going to use? Only oral? We are going to orally communicate with the audience?
It might be both, ma'am, oral and written.
Written? How written? Can you explain, please?
Through presentations, ma'am.
Now, well, presentation, as I was telling that if we make the presentation very detail, instead of listening to us, the audience will just go ahead and listen to the just go ahead and read the presentation. So here non-verbal communication is also important, and how non-verbal information or communication, it is by using some visual aids. I'm not talking about the presentation, visual aids. You can show some kind of, you can play some music related to the presentation, you can show some pictures, you can show some visuals which will really attract the attention of your audience. That really works, that really works.
Using some statics, main statics.
Yes, and like you can just connect to the audience instantly, and people love to watch visuals, they just enjoy that. So instead of talking continuously, you can just switch over to your non-verbal communication just by showing some pictures or visuals or playing some good songs which are relevant to your, your theme and your topic of presentation. So here, what we are telling that we need to communicate in both the ways, verbally and non-verbally, which is really important. And your personality and body language would definitely play an important part. Now, apart from this, okay, all these are one part. Now, apart from this, the other parameters which are required for public speaking. Can you just tell me one or two parameters which are really important for public speaking? Can please anybody tell me? Okay, I understand communication, good communication. You need to have a good presentation. You need to have a good, perfect body language. And as you know, that first impression is the last impression. You need to have a proper positive attitude. Your attitude also plays an important role. Don't forget that. You need to be very positive. You should have the positive vibes should pass on to your audience. That you need to keep in mind. So okay, these are the some of the parameters. So what other parameters do you feel it's really important?
Education.
Listening skills, ma'am.
Yeah, I already told you, communication skills very important. Yes, without that we cannot have an effective we cannot connect to our audience properly. What else?
Speaking tone and facial expressions also matter, ma'am.
Yes, speaking tone. Now I'll come to that. Now facial expression, yes, that depends upon your that is part of your body language, how you are in front of your audience. Now the other parameters which are really important is your articulation. So can you tell me what do you understand by articulation? What is articulation? I can see only one or two or three, max three students are interacting. There are so many students here. I want each and every one of you to interact here, please.
Hello.
Yeah, please. Yes, Venkatesh.
Ma'am, articulation is in the sense like clarity of sound and clarity of words, ma'am. How it will be.
See, now, for example, if I want to pronounce a particular word, I should be able to pronounce it properly. Yes, you are right.
Yeah, yeah,
Articulation,
yeah.
which is very, very important. Yes. Now, some people believe that if we use fancy words, lot of lexical resources. Lexical resources mean fancy words, like I would term it as Dr. Shashi Tharoor words. Can you tell me one of Dr. Shashi Tharoor's few words? Who can tell me? Have you heard of that? Have you read in the newspapers, YouTube's? It is everywhere floated. Dr. Shashi Tharoor's, words. Can you tell me? Anyone, any one of the words, at least any one word.
We have not heard, ma'am. Sorry.
Madam, actually, Shashi Tharoor's the pronunciation of English words, it is very, very effective.
Yes, sir. It's absolutely very effective. I agree to that. Now, I'll give you an example. When our recent budget was released, now he had made a comment about our budget, the kind of budget. Can you just, who will tell me what is the word he exactly used to describe the budget? Who will tell me that? It was published in the paper, and that created a lot of hue and cry amongst the citizens. Okay, if you have not noticed or if you have forgotten, let me just tell you, he just quoted his ad as damp squib, DAMP, damp squib, SQUIB. Let me tell you the meaning of it. It is the damn squib. It means that it's not that impressive. It's less impressive. So people, instead of going through his article or going through the budget, they started flipping the dictionary or googling that what is the exact meaning of that. Now, if I try to use such words to communicate with my audience, do you feel that I am a good public speaker? How many of you agree, or how many of you don't agree with me?
Sometimes
Who will agree or who will not agree to
Sorry,
that?
sorry, I didn't understand the question, ma'am.
Okay, the question is, as I said, like once the budget was released, Dr. Shashi Tharoor had quoted describing the budget, what kind of budget it was. He mentioned it as damp squib. So I was just explaining the meaning of damp squib, which means it's not that impressive, it's not that effective. However, what happened is that people, instead of reading that article, going through the budget, they left everything aside. They just started flipping their dictionary. They started Googling to find out the meaning of damp squib. So, do you feel that instead of to communicate with my audience, can I use such fancy words to communicate with my audience? Then I can be called a perfect, a successful public speaker? How many of you agree or how many of you don't agree to that? His words are excellent. I do agree to that. Agree? Do you agree that we can use such?
No, ma'am, I don't
No,
agree.
Oh,
ma'am, I
no, ma'am.
don't
do
Even
not
agree.
agree,
even
madam.
I don't agree, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I
Yes.
don't agree because those
Don't agree,
words
ma'am.
should be those words should be easily understandable to audience.
Exactly. What we mean, even I will not agree to that. Wherein, if I use certain fancy words and my audience are not able to comprehend such words, they would have to start Googling instead of listening to me. No, I am not a good public speaker then. So yes, definitely, Dr. Shashi Tharoor's words are yes worth learning. You can memorize the words and Once in a while you can just use them, but not while public speaking. And one of another word which I remember is floxininoxinihilipilification. It's a very lengthy word, okay? And the meaning of the word is worthless. So he just wanted to mention somebody as worthless by using that word. So all again started flipping the dictionary. So that is not an effective public speaking. So we have to make sure that our words are quite simple and that can be wherein we can reach the audience. That is also very important. Okay, that is another one criteria. Another one, our pitch, our tone would play a very vital role. Now, pitch, what do you understand by pitch? Who will tell me? Not Venkatesh or Rupa, somebody else apart from that who would give me the meaning of pitch. What do you mean by pitch? Pitch, pitch. Who would give me the meaning of the word pitch?
It's one of blaming word, ma'am.
Gaming? No, it's not script. When I say that, hey guys, just go ahead and sit down, and next minute I say, please guys, sit down. So what is this? Is there a difference the way I communicated to you? Do you find any difference here? This is not hard and soft communication. This is just the pitch. Pitch means the voice modulation, whether it's too high or too low. That is also very important. Now, what happens is that I can, as per my requirement of the presentation or as per my requirement, audience requirement, I can increase my tone and I can again bring it down. So that's the pitch. That is called voice modulation. I can either be too loud or moderate or too soft. Or if I'm too soft, my audience might not be able to hear properly. So I need to have a proper voice modulation. Did you understand the meaning of pitch? Like high pitch, low pitch, moderate pitch. I need to have that. Okay. Now, one more thing I would like to tell you that now this public speaking, now in this 21st century, we are much before that, public speaking has come into the forefront. But if you really go back to the history, if you go ahead and and check your history books or go ahead and check the YouTube and all, you will know that this public speaking is not a very recent concept. It dates back to 2000 years ago, wherein all the philosophers were very much interested and keen on public speaking. And one such philosopher was Aristotle. Have you heard of the name Aristotle?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Aristotle. He was a classical Greek philosopher. He was also very much keen on this public speaking. And while giving his views, he has given 3 basic parts of public speaking. First is ethos, next is logos, third one is pathos. Now I'll explain what are these. Ethos means the credibility of the speaker. Now credibility means how well the speaker is able to communicate to the audience. That's the credibility. How well the speaker can strike the right chord of the audience. You can reach the direct heart or strike the heart of the audience. That's called ethos. Next is logos. That means how you end your presentation. Because at the end, that will be, the impact should be very, very high before you draw a conclusion. The whole of the presentation, you talk, you speak, you just go ahead and take questions from the audience, whatever. But the concluding part also is very, very crucial because that will leave an everlasting impact on your audience. So that is known as logos. And next is pathos, that is your emotional appeal. As I mentioned in the beginning, there will be 2 kinds of audience. logical and emotional. So how well emotional appeal do you have to connect your audience? So I'll stop here and take some questions from you. Anybody, any questions, please, before I further carry on? Or do you have any doubts? You can clarify, please.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Ma'am, you told about logical and emotional audience. So,
Yes,
to impress those emotional audience, we need to tell them story or what? Like it
I
is a
will come
party.
to yes. Yes, good question, Venkatesh. Actually, you know what? Story is one of the best ways to connect to your audience. Yes, you can narrate a story, but it should be very much relevant to the topic or the theme that you are communicating to your audience. They love to listen to hear stories. Even nowadays, now also, I love to listen to stories. So who not loves to listen to stories? So yes, that is one of the ways you can, you know, emotionally connect to your audience by narrating stories.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have one question.
Please, Pavan.
I have a little bit of stage fear. So how can we
Mm-hmm.
improve stage courage? Please, can you give me
Very
some
good
points?
question. Yes, yes, yes. Very, very good question. Now, what happened is that the best thing, as like while before I could begin with the actual public speaking, I told you that the minute we hear the words public speaking, we start sweating, we start quivering, our voice trembles, our hands become shaky, we start sweating, hands become too sweaty. So, all these things happen to us. But the only way you can overcome all these things, the world speech therapists, they have also advised that the best way to overcome this is put on the music, put on your headset, record whatever you want to say. Speak your heart out. Later on, switch off the music, listen to the recording. You will be able to find out whether you have gone wrong in the sense whether your voice was quivering, whether you were nervous, because we can make out easily whether the person is nervous or not, whether you had some grammatical errors, whether your articulation was perfect or you need some improvisation on that, whether your tonality was perfect, voice modulation was good. Keep on doing that. That's the best thing, to overcome the stage fear. Because when you put on the music, you don't hesitate and you are not bothered who is listening to you. So you can just go ahead and record your own voice.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I have one more question.
Sure, please.
Now we are able to speak at least 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
We are not able to speak like 1 hour, 2 hour. So give throw some lights on it.
Okay. Good. Very good. Okay. You want to speak for 1 hour, 2 hours. Great. Now, first of all, you need to determine on what you would like to deliver your content. Next
Yes, ma'am.
thing, now, yes, now if you are confident about your content, the best way is to rehearse that. Now, either you can rehearse, as I said, like put on the music, record your voice, record your content. Switch off the music, get back to your content, and just analyze where you have gone wrong. Or you can ask your friend or your father or somebody else, mother or somebody else who will give you the genuine feedback where you have gone wrong. Or I would say that you are the best judge of your own personality. You can judge yourself. You are the best judge. You listen to it, whether you are able to deliver properly at a stretch. And one more thing, you need to keep one thing in mind is pauses and pace. Now, pauses and pace is nothing but your punctuation. Now, if we keep on reading it, the art of public speaking is really interesting. Nowadays, people are trying to develop that skill. It is very effective for the development. So there is no punctuation. Would that be effective? Definitely not. Nobody would understand that at all. So
Okay,
you
in
need
case
to
of
punctuate that.
okay, in case of spot speaking, what should we need? Sorry, we need.
Ma'am, can I take this question? I want to just add on
Yes.
whatever
Yeah,
you
please.
said. I think what Dr.
Hmm.
Paramita ma'am has said rightly explained that all those no basic things we have to keep in mind. Now, beside that, when someone needs to talk like no 1 hour, 2 hours, or hour maybe 3 hours or beyond that, I think in that case, no most of the speakers they fall short of contents what no Paramita ma'am is time and again reinforcing that content is the king. We know content is one part, the second part is the delivery in line with the target audience, right? So even someone is good at communication, but if there is no sufficient content no to speak for lengthy hours, in that case I believe that speaker will make the repetition of the same content, and what happened at the end, I think audience will get no disinterested no in that case. So whatever ma'am said exactly, those things we need to keep in mind. Rehearse, okay, before you go, give pause. What Sahasar has also said, and some of the students, I think they also interacted. Like Venkatesh said that no story, definitely, because no generally psychology says that human attention is maximum 20 to 30 minutes. But in some of the times, especially in business schools, we see that no, we have to stretch no working hours, even classes in the evening, and we need to, if we are residential students, we need to study at home, and no in the hostel maybe no till midnight we need to study and again come back and deliver in the class. So in all these cases, what is very important is the content. You have to be very thorough in which topic you are going to deliver the talk. So if you're thorough in the content, I think that will help, that will boost your self confidence, and self confidence is the ultimate in any kind of communication, so that is one to one to many, or in general public speaking. I think that part we need to Pawan need to keep in mind, that content wise you have to be very thorough. You have to have the strong hold on the subject on which you are going to deliver. And beside that, we can add on what ma'am has rightly said. What are the different points she mentioned rightly? I think if we put all this together, I'm sure that no each one of us, those who are present today, we can be a better communicator tomorrow, because we all improve every day. Okay, like what I'm talking, there is a lot of scope for me also today to improvise that tomorrow. And that's how that's how life is, and that's how we improvise on our own performance. Thank you so much, Pavan. That's a wonderful question, and thank you, ma'am, for your insight on that.
Yeah,
Please.
welcome. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other question?
Ma'am, I have
Come
another
on,
doubt.
students. Yeah, please go ahead.
What are the essential contents to be contained in our content of speaking?
Now, see, that's also a very good question. Now, it depends upon the topic that you choose for your delivery. That is very important. Now,
Okay.
you need to first focus on your topic, analyze the topic. Based on the topic, you need to prepare the presentation or your content, develop the content.
Now, ma'am, if I add on, see the bigger challenge today, that at one side we are in a better position because we have no huge contents which are in the form of data, okay, unprocessed information which are available in the Google or in the other web browsers. Okay, at the click of mouse, we can get on any topic. Now in YouTube, on any particular topic, if you search, you will get thousands of videos, fantastic videos. That's one part. The challenge is how we process those videos, how we process the information which are available in the browser, and get the extract, and then make a content on the subject we are going to deliver. I think that's where the challenge is. Content is not no a big issue today, because we have huge on information. That's what people call no. This is information overload. No, and we get stressed out because of lot of information. See, every day in TV, in newspaper, when we interact with our peer groups, we get a lot of new things. Okay, but we need to. That's what in management, I believe you have studied in principle of management. No, selective retention. A lot of things we come across, we need to go for selective retention. Whatever information is necessary for us, we must focus on that, and then we have to build up our contents. I think that part we need to be very, very careful. Yes, ma'am, please.
Yeah. So, Pawan, one more thing I would like to tell you is, see, as Professor Datta said, like you have a plethora of content nowadays available just at a one click. So what you can do is you can just go ahead and collect all the content, and you can do an analysis and research on those content, and then develop your content. That is, you need to customize your content as per your requirement.
Ma'am,
Anybody? Yes, please.
ma'am, do you think statics plays main role in public speaking?
Sorry, come back once again.
Do you think statics plays a important role in public speaking?
You mean to say statistics, right? Like the
Correct,
numbers, right? Yeah, sometimes it does, but not sometimes it does, because like if you are delivering something to your audience, you need to prove yourself with your facts and figures, which is very important, because I told you there are two categories of audience. One category will be logical, so they need facts, they need numbers, so that they can trust you. At least if they have the numbers, they would feel that, okay, fine, these are the numbers, these are the facts, these are the figures, and then they will have the full confidence on you. So you, in order to strive those audience, definitely you need statistics. 100% you need statistics.
Yes, I think what ma'am said exactly right. See what happened whenever we present any statistics in our delivery, that makes the communication more credible, more authentic. Because no, most of the times you will see that many good communicator, they will bring out some of the no research findings of KPMG or no some other Boston Consulting groups and other org marg research groups, because that gives credibility, and that also helps no instilling some kind of confidence, okay, in the mind of the target audience. So definitely statistics. At the same time, in the presentation today, if you look at, we have Canvas, okay, is a free software available, LMS. Now in Canvas you can make fantastic presentation, you can integrate audio, video as well as text, and the presentation can be there in the cloud. You can present anywhere in the world, across wherever you travel, from the cloud directly you can present in your screen. I think that's the advantage of technology. Definitely statistics plays a very important role wherever it is needed. Okay, now don't give unnecessary data and statistics where no, your content does not support it. So it's everything depend, what ma'am rightly said, on which particular topic you are going to develop the content, number one, to whom you are going to deliver. That's also equally very important. The target audience is equally very, very important while developing any communication strategy. I think Pawan asked some of the fantastic, very relevant questions, ma'am, and you also answered
Yes.
holistically. I just wanted to little bit add on. So there's I don't find a lot of interactions. I thought, let me interact, also learn. Okay, that's the best way. So it will motivate other especially the MBA students to ask a lot of questions to you. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, sir. So anybody else? Any other question?
Ma'am, I have one more thing to say.
Yes, please.
What does pitching mean in business?
I didn't get your question, Rupa. Can you repeat that?
What does pitching mean in business?
Pitching.
Yes, ma'am.
You mean to say pitching?
Yes, ma'am.
Pitching mean in business. Okay. pitching is like when I am trying to go ahead and deliver some content. Okay, for example, I am giving a presentation about a product in front of the client, and I am going ahead with my presentation, and at the same time, my colleague comes and gives some input, just as Professor Datta is giving some kind of input here. So he is pitching in. He is coming and giving some additional information to make it more effective.
Yeah,
So that is what is pitching.
ma'am, I
It's not
can,
only in business; it can happen anywhere.
ma'am, I can just little bit add on, because what Rupa said,
Yeah.
whatever you said, exactly right. But in business plan, especially if the subject is entrepreneurship, I'm just trying to make it very holistic, so that there is no stone unturned as per the question is concerned. As you rightly said, what pitching means, but in the business plan, pitching means we use the word elevator speech, okay, wherein you present same thing, wherever you present your business plan in front of the investors or the angel investors, okay, those will fund your project or the business plan. If you want to become an entrepreneur, in that case you need to ensure that you pitch in like the Shark Tank, okay, the most popular, okay, entrepreneurship, okay, the startup serials which are, okay, running through in Indian TV channel. So that's the pitching in a different context in case of business plan presentation. But if we go by the dictionary meaning, or in general, whatever ma'am said is exactly right. Pitching mean you come in and make yourself present and try to give your views, okay, the presentations, what ma'am rightly has said. But in business plan, it has little different no connotation. Yes, ma'am, please. Rupa, wonderful question, please.
Yes. Yes. Somebody was about to ask some questions.
So, well, I was not asking the question. So, as Pawan said about static,
Yeah.
so something
Mm-hmm.
came in my mind. I wanted to tell that. So I
Yeah.
will be
Please.
watching so I will be watching the Vivek Bendra's videos, man. And even he is a good public speaker, and I think
Mm-hmm.
everyone knows him, Vivek Bendra. And and
I know Dr. Vivek
when
Bindra. Yes.
yeah, ma'am. Whenever he will be giving a public speaking, he will be coming with a new static like case studies of every company. So whenever he will
Mm-hmm.
be delivering, or whenever he will be
Venkatesh, please unmute yourself. You are muted. Yes,
hello,
please. Yes, please.
am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, please.
I was speaking of Vivek Bindra, ma'am. Whenever he will be coming with
Mm-hmm.
whenever he will be coming with a delivering a message, or whenever he will be coming with good communication, he will be coming with a
Mm-hmm.
new thing like case studies. So case studies of
Yeah.
Coca-Cola, case studies of Gillette,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
I know.
case,
I know. I
case
know.
so that much.
Yeah, yeah, I agree to that. He is an excellent public speaker. Yes, he has a lot of credibility. But oh, no, no, no offense. But one thing, if you just go, since you are going following his YouTube or wherever you have seen his public speaking, dude, he would speak like at a random without any pause and any kind of pace. So that is not acceptable in public speaking. You need to have
Yes,
certain
sir.
kind of pause, and you have to modulate that. That is known as voice modulation. I was talking about pitch, high pitch, moderate pitch, low pitch, and your articulation and everything. So that is very important. Like speaking at a random, you cannot reach the audience that effectively. What I believe,
Yes, what ma'am
because
said. What ma'am
because
said
I
is.
have experienced, yes, I have experienced that myself. Okay, initially, now nobody would be interested in listening to you if you speak at a random without any punctuation, without your voice modulation, without your pitch, without articulation. It would be really difficult for the audience to follow that, comprehend that. Because what happens is that not everybody can follow that pace. Some can follow a very, high pace, some follow the moderate pace, some follow a very lower pace. So it depends upon, that is the reason voice modulation is very important.
Ma'am, what you said exactly right, but what Venkatesh is trying to
Yeah.
put across, I think he has a point. The point is, in the presentation, if you can bring in some kind of example, some live case studies, okay, in that case the presentation makes very lively along with the statistical
Yeah,
data,
that
what Pavan
yes,
said,
that
and
is
the
100.
stories. Yes,
Yeah, that is 100% right, because as we were talking about storytelling and visual effect,
yes,
like these are all part of your public speaking. You need to bring it out to make it interesting. At the end of the day, we need to present with facts, figures, and data, and the real life examples, so that the audience, they are really literally, they are like, they can believe you, they can trust on whatever you are delivering.
exactly, absolutely.
Yes. Any other questions, guys? Please. Anybody? Anyone?
Madam,
Yes.
which form is effective way of communication, madam, in business?
Sorry. Can you
Which
repeat your
form,
question?
which form is effective way to communicate with business in the business?
Which is an effective way to communicate in the business?
Business, yes, madam.
Effective communication. Okay. If you talk about effective communication, now that is like, you again, it comes back to, you need to have your content development first, customized as per the requirement of your investors, your clients. Next is the way you are communicating. Now there are some people, now while communicating, you need to keep on mind, or you need to emphasize on your grammatical errors as well, because there are people who do make grammatical errors which are not acceptable in public speaking. You need to communicate flawlessly and avoid, all those flaws. Sometimes, when we tend to become nervous, we just go ahead and do this, so that some people keep on repeating, so that okay, so all these things must be avoided. Okay. And at the same time, you have to rehearse, you need to be sure that what you are communicating to the client, or to the business, or to the investors, you are confident about your delivery. Your self confidence would play a major and vital role in delivery, because the minute they can find out that you are nervous and you are trying to camouflage your nervousness, it would really become difficult for you. That the communication would not be that effective.
Exactly,
So
ma'am.
in order to make it, yeah, so in order to make it really effective, your self confidence first, your communication, flawless communication. Okay, there are people nowadays. The people believe that like fluent communication means they don't give emphasis on grammar, but grammar plays a vital role. And there are some people who keep on repeating the same words again and again. You need to know certain synonyms while you are delivering to the whoever you are making the presentation to. So that is called lexical resources. I'm not emphasizing on the fancy words, Dr. Shashi Tharoor words, not like that, but minimum synonyms which you need to know. Like I'll give you an example. Like instead of saying that gather or you can collect together, you can use the word accumulate. Okay, so these are the certain words which you can synonyms which you can use. Instead of making keep on telling surprise, surprise, you can use the word astonished. So these are the certain words, synonyms which you have to make a part of your communication to make it really effective.
Ex-
And the best way is you have to rehearse. As I told you, the world speech therapists, they have come up with an excellent, solution to all these problems. As I was telling Pavan, put on your headset, switch on the music, record your voice, see where you after that, see where you have gone wrong. You are the best master of your own self, so you can judge it better. See where you have gone wrong, how you can rectify from your flaws, how you can rectify from your mistakes.
exactly,
So
ma'am.
if you try to do that, yeah, if you try to do that over and over again, I'm sure you can communicate effectively, excellently to your, to your investors or to your clients, whoever you want to communicate to.
Ma'am, exactly what you said, rightly said. And if I want to connect a little bit more with the business orientation, now Chetan asked the business communication. Now, business communication and the normal communications, okay, we can broadly classify it into categories. Now, business communication is more of a formal nature, right? Now, in the formal nature itself, we have one horizontal communication, one is vertical communication. I'm sure we had a discussion with ma'am before that. Ma'am also stressed on that. Probably she should have not touched this point later on, but let me bring on a little bit in advance. See, in the business, there are two different types of communication. One is horizontal communication, when you are communicating with your peers at the same level, lateral communication, right? So that communication is a little bit of different. It's a little bit of friendly. Okay, it may be a little bit of informal as well. But when you're communicating vertical communications, like you're communicating with your manager or the CEOs or the board of directors, or you are in a management position and you're communicating with your subordinates, that becomes a formal communications. Now, in formal communications, so generally, how do you communicate in a business setup? Most of the communications today done through email. Okay, so email communication also, there is email etiquettes, how to write email, what ma'am time and again emphasizing. Okay, no WhatsApp language. Okay, you means why you are you, no shortcut you, right? So the formal communication, no grammatical errors. Grammar is very, very important when you write a no typed letter or an email to your subordinate or to your top ups bosses. So in that case, you have to be very, very careful. That's a formal communication. And your tone, okay, the way you present to your boss, that's different than the way you communicate with your peer groups. So I think that's a that's a different context. Okay, so I believe that in general, if you're good at communication, the points what ma'am is emphasizing, because that is the foundation. That is the foundation. If foundation blocks are very, very strong, okay, you are able to communicate, how to communicate, what is pitch, what is modulation, what is accent, mother tongue influence, okay, then the words, okay, having a stronghold on the words. If these things you are good at, so I believe that you won't have any challenge while communicating, whether it is horizontal or vertical communication, because that's the culture. Now, you know that in many IT sector also, the CEO is like a friend. Okay, they talk like a friend, so they sit together and have a cup of coffee. So that's also, they are trying to make it more informal. Okay, it's not like the government sector. To meet the boss, MD, you need to take a slip, give a slip to the PS, take the permission, then you go. Okay, that's a different kind of communication. I think what ma'am is talking to all of us, trying to emphasize, is the foundation block. If the foundations are very, very strong, then always we can adapt and customize our approach based on the situation. But that's a very good question, ma'am, what Chetan asked, and you also replied very well. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Please.
Yes, Chetan. Any other question? Anybody else? Any other question?
What are the guidance of public speaking, ma'am?
What are the
guidelines of public speaking?
Yeah. Now, guidelines means guiding principles of public speaking is, first of all, as I told you, that you need to overcome your fear. You must not be nervous. When you are going ahead to address the audience, you should be able to know who are your target audience. Are you going to talk in front of a group of students who are in 5th standard, 6th standard school students, or you are going to address the students who are PU students or the degree students or who are postgraduate students? All these things. You need to keep in mind your target audience. That's the first thing. Next thing is like content development, as we were all talking and discussing about content development, like plethora of information content available nowadays online, and you need to customize as per your requirement, because now when I need to deliver a content, it cannot be similar when I'm delivering to a school student. It could definitely differ when I'm delivering to a school student, group of students, and when I'm delivering to a postgraduate student. So that would definitely differ. So you need to develop your theme content customized as per the need of the audience, and you need to identify your target audience. That's the next thing. Third thing, practice. Practice, rehearse, rehearse, and rehearse. There is a saying that practice makes a man perfect, but it is not man perfect. Practice makes everybody perfect. It's not only man, okay? It was before it. I don't believe that word. Practice makes everybody perfect. So that is the key point. That is the hidden what to say, the hidden thing. Practice. Keep on rehearsing before you address your audience, before you face your audience. Next is your communication. Communication would play a major role. You need to be able to communicate effectively. And next thing, pace. You should not just go ahead and run too fast, too slow. Voice modulation, pitch, articulation, pronunciation. This come under one category. These things will come under one category. Then you need to find out, like, you can also use the storytelling method, visual aids. You can just go ahead and show them some visuals, as I was telling. Play a relevant song which are really relevant to the theme or the topic or the content. So if you go ahead and one more thing which you can add to it is, which is the trending nowadays, the trending topic nowadays. Okay, so if you can add everything together, you can really be a good public speaker.
Ma'am,
Anything else you would like?
if you don't mind, because the today's class is more than 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So as per the practice,
Yes.
in any kind of online presentations, there may be video lag. Okay, like jet lag. I think students will agree with this, and all other esteemed participants also will agree with the this particular situation. So I'll request, let us take 10 minutes health break. Okay, then we can continue because we are done with 1 hour. Now time is 4:04.
Yeah.
So we'll meet exact 4:15. Is it fine, ma'am? 4:15
Yeah,
we'll get back.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I request all the participants, please be online. You can have a cup of tea, and let us meet at 4:15 again. Thank you so much. So this is a break for 10 minutes.
Of public speaking. Okay, if you just consider the depth, if you go in depth of public speaking, the first one is impromptu. Impromptu. Now, impromptu means wherein you are just going to go ahead and prepare everything, rehearse everything, develop your content. In other words, if I say, you will be totally prepared to deliver to the audience. Okay, this is one type. Next type is extempo. Extempo means you just instantly go ahead, you pick up any topic and you start addressing your audience. This is extempo. You can just take up any topic and talk. The other one is manuscript. Now, manuscript, we say, this is also a form of public speaking, but we say that manuscript is a bit difficult one. Why? Now, you might ask the question why. The only reason is, in manuscript, you cannot paraphrase, you cannot insert your own words, you cannot change the frame of the sentence, you cannot change the order of the word. You need to quote the exact words of the speaker. This is known as manuscript, and this is very, very difficult. This is also one form of public speaking, but it is extremely, you have to develop your, you need to be very confident if you are going through the public speaking through manuscript, because there you cannot change anything. You have to just quote the exact words of the speaker. Okay, so these are the three things. Next thing I want to talk to you about some great, well-known speakers in the world. Can you tell me about some well-known speakers in the world? Who will tell me?
Sandeep Maheshwaran.
Sandeep Maheshwari, yes, he is a public speaker. Yes, he is very jolly. He is very jovial. Yes, he is just motivate. He almost works on the motivational part, though it's also a form of public speaking. Anybody else, any other public speaker, great public speaker. Yes, already somebody told me about, yeah, Venkatesh told me about Dr. Bindra. Yes, Vivek Bindra. Yes,
Ma'am, Guru Gopal Das, Motivi.
very good. Yes, yes, 100%. Again, one motivational speaker. Yes, we have Sadhguru. Yes, we cannot forget him. We have Brahma Kumari. Again, motivational speakers, public speaking. They have huge fan following. They have huge crowd pulling. Now, don't we think that we are missing some of the greatest public speakers?
Ma'am, Martin Luther King.
Very, very good. Martin Luther King. Can you?
Narendra
Yes.
Modi, madam.
100%. Yes, 100%. He is really good. Yes, public speaking. Now, as Rupa said, Martin Luther. Why do we remember Martin Luther? Can you tell me the opening speech of Martin Luther? See, now when we talk about Martin Luther, we just instantly it reminds us, I have a dream. I have a dream. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are credited equal. So imagine the way he struck the chord of the audience. I have a dream. Now, why I am talking about these legendary public speakers, because maybe they didn't develop the content. Maybe they didn't have the chance to develop the content. They did not think of anything, but the only way they became successful public speaker is the way they spoke out their heart. What they felt and in what context they felt, they spoke out that. I have a dream. What's the dream? The truth is that all men should be credited equal. So that was his dream. So it depends upon the context also, on what context, what you are delivering. Will you guys agree to this?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anybody else? Any other legendary public speaker apart from Sandeep Maheshwari, Dr. Bindra, Ram Gopal Das, Sadhguru, any other legendary public speaker? Can they be called?
Even Steve
Yes.
Jobs was one of them.
Steve Jobs, yes, Steve Jobs also one of them. Now, do you think? Now, do you feel that these Martin Luther and all, they were really in true sense public speaker? Can we tell these people are public speaker? What do you feel about that? Can we call them public speaker? Anybody?
No, ma'am.
But still they have thousands of lakhs and lakhs of followers. Why? Because, as I said, they spoke their heart and following to the context. Okay. Now, if you just remember the famous speech or the famous Chicago Convention, the Parliament address by Swami Vivekananda. What he said? How did he address the audience? Sisters and brothers of America. That cast a magic spell on the audience. And there was a 2-minute standing ovation for that. Sisters and brothers of America. So they, at the first, we need to also remember one thing, that the way we are opening the public speaking, when we are trying to address our audience, that the beginning is very important, because as I told you, first impression is the last impression. Why do we remember these people? Because of their powerful, the way they spoke, their powerful words. Sisters and brothers of America, I have a dream. Subhash Chandra Bose said, "You give me blood, I'll give you freedom." They did not prepare the content. They did not rehearse for that. They were not like well prepared for it. They just spoke at the right moment what they felt. They spoke their heart, not their mind. Then, if you go ahead and talk about Mahatma Gandhi, he also addressed the nation during the Quit India movement, that the British must, leave India, because our sacrifices must not go for a waste. So what? He was not prepared. He didn't know what was PowerPoint that time. They didn't have the concept of PowerPoint. They didn't know what are telephones and gadgets, technology, nothing during that time. But they spoke. They spoke, and they have huge fan followers. They were able to pull the crowd. We are now blessed with all this digital, with the digital world, with mobile, with YouTube, social media. We are blessed, but they didn't have access to anything. But the only thing they had was they just spoke out from their heart, not from their mind. So when the main thing, that as Rupa was asking, what are the guiding principles of public speaking? Speak out your heart pertaining to the content. Don't speak from your mind. When you speak from your mind, you become too mechanical and robotic. These people have become famous because they spoke their heart openly. Any questions on this? Any questions on this?
No, ma'am. We don't have any questions, ma'am. But one thing about which you told about heart speaking and all, and if you
Mm-hmm.
speak about the great personalities of India, like Dr. B.R.
Mm-hmm.
Ambedkar, when he spoke
Mm-hmm.
on untouchability
Yes,
to the audience.
yes, yes, yes. There are so many, legendary speakers. Like, they did not prepare for their content. They were not ready
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
Yeah, they did not do anything. They just knew that they had to go ahead and talk to their address the audience pertaining to a particular topic, and they just spoke what they felt like. It was like, that's the reason. One more guiding principle is, make it spontaneous. Don't make it too mechanical, or don't sound too mechanical. Avoid that. Be very casual, be spontaneous. Audience love that. Now you imagine, when you interact with a person, okay, casually, they feel, and you try to make that person very comfortable, they just tell you everything, rather than you just try to pose so many questions and be too harsh while talking to them. They are not that comfortable. So one more criteria is, you need to make your audience very, very comfortable. You must be approachable. Now, how you can be approachable? Like, you need to answer their queries and questions. That is also, you have to remember while public speaking. This is also one of the guidelines. You need to make them very comfortable. So when these legendary speakers, or I would say legendary, these legends address the nation, they did not think about all this preparation and all. They just went ahead and addressed the nation by saying whatever they felt like, and they made the people comfortable. They were able to step in their shoes and talk, address to the people. So this is also the guiding principles which we have to remember while we are doing the public speaking, while we are delivering to the audience. And one more thing I would like to emphasize, The three P's of successful speech. Can anybody tell me what are the three P's of successful speech? Anybody, any idea?
Timing, madam.
Sorry?
Timing, madam. Perfect timing.
Training, perfect training. Now, see, there are people who cannot afford training, who cannot afford the coach, the speech coaches and all these things. People are there nowadays, online courses, they can't afford all these
Not
things. So,
training,
what are
madam. I
you?
said the timing, madam. Not
Ma'am,
training.
prepare,
Timing, I said.
practice,
Preparation, okay. Now, the
practice.
three P's, yes,
Ma'am,
preparation, yes,
ma'am, we have to love our nation, love our people. Then automatically the words come to your mind. No, I mean,
that
firstly we
is,
have to.
that is, yes, I agree with Divya. Very true. When I was talking about those legends, as I said, they did not do any kind of preparation, but they had a heart for it. They wanted to address the nation. They wanted the people to understand. They made the people, the audience comfortable, and they spoke their heart. Yes, that is very important. Yes, absolutely. And what I was talking about, the piece of successful your public speaking is preparation, practice, performance. Three P's: preparation, practice, performance. Now you can also become one day legendary speaker. We never know that, but those people were able to address the nation because they were talking on that particular context. But here, what we usually tend to do is we pick up a theme-based topic and then we deliver the audience. So I am talking about successful public speaking will be is really effective when we prepare, practice, and give our best. That is performance. Any question on that?
No, ma'am. You can go ahead.
Okay.
Ma'am,
So, yes, Pawan.
ma'am, connecting with the audience culture may helpful to public speaking.
Yes, connecting with your audience. That is what I called it. That is establishing a strong connection and bond with your
Ma'am, audience
with your
culture, ma'am.
yes, audience culture. Yes, definitely. You need to know your audience. That's what I told you. You need to know your audience. You need to know your audience properly. Definitely. Anybody, anything else would like to ask before I go ahead and start the exercise?
Ma'am, if I can add on what
Yeah.
they are talking about, culture, what you said, in addition to that, definitely culture has a huge impact on communication as far as the body language is concerned. What we indicate in India like this, all right, it means different in different countries. Okay, body language, we have to be very, very cautious because it is always contextual as far as local culture is concerned. Number one. Number two, even in India, if you look at the way we communicate in Karnataka, and the same way you cannot communicate in Delhi or Rajasthan, okay, because of the temperature and the climate is such, in that food habit is such. Usually you will find out this southern region and the eastern region, because they eat rice, okay, more than chapati, and because of the culture, okay, they are very soft spoken people. Okay, but if you look at the northern region especially, you'll find out that, I'm not saying people are bad anywhere, right? All are good, it's not that, but their voice, their pitch and way they communicate it quite different. So definitely culture has a huge impact, like the way I am communicating. I'm sure ma'am was in corporate for more than 1 decade and worked in senior position in Cisco Webex, and taken up many projects, offshore project, wherein she had to interact with the clients, overseas clients. Now, way she would communicate with the overseas clients in US and Europe, I think that's quite different the ways you will communicate one client in India. Okay, I'm sure in terms of language, in terms of the way of delivery, in terms of making the clients understand the product. So definitely, culture has a huge impact on the communications. And ma'am has rightly now interpreted and given her views as well. Thank you, ma'am. Please take on.
Yeah. And one more thing, you should not always confuse public speaking with debate or group discussion. Group discussion and debate are form of public speaking. However, there you are not addressing your target audience. There it is a kind, you can say it's a kind of a brainstorming session, or you can say that's an argumentative session, whatever you can term it. But that is in literal sense is not public speaking, because we are, though in group discussion and debate they give a particular topic or a theme, we discuss on that, we give our own views and opinion on that, it's a two-way communication. But usually in public speaking it happens, it's a one-way communication. Later on the audience asks the questions. So if you don't have any questions, shall we move on to a small exercise?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now I want each and every one of you to introduce yourself creatively. How creative or innovative you can be. So let's see who will be the best public speaker. Let's see.
Some of them can
Who
do,
will
ma'am.
start?
Some of them can introduce themselves in a creatively. Okay,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
innovation is a part of communication, right? As you change the culture, as the target group with whom you are communicating, it keeps changing, the context keeps changing. Okay, so in that case we have to be creative and innovative in our communication. So what ma'am said, the very wise question, and ma'am said that some of you, not all of you, because otherwise we'll extend the timing. Okay, some of you can creatively introduce yourself, maybe in maximum 2 3 lines, very briefly. So that's a part of innovation in communication. Yes, please. Some of you
Yeah.
can do it.
Now you need to make it very effective and strike the chord of the audience. Now let's see who will start off.
Ma'am, I will start, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Hello everyone, my name is Venkatesh Sudevanshi and I am from Chikkodi. Do you know Chikkodi? Chikkodi is a part of Belgaum district. I am pursuing my MBA in TVS. I am at Dharwad. Thank you.
Oh, great. That's really good. Your intonation, pitch, delivery was really good. That is the pitch I was talking about, voice modulation I was talking about. It was very obvious that you were very enthusiastic. It will definitely sound to the audience how the way you communicate to them. Because Venkatesh was very jovial, he was very enthusiastic, he was very happy to introduce himself. So that is very obvious. So your voice modulation is
Thank you, ma'am.
also one of the guiding principles of public speaking. Yes, next.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome. Next.
Hello guys, my name is Pawan Kumar and I am pursuing ME in DV Chaimasa Dharwad and I am from Saints district Haveri as well. You know many saints are born in Haveri district, so I have very proud to say that I am from Haveri.
Very good, very good. See, you people also have the potential. You just need to nurture, brush up your a bit, and then you can start off. It's nothing impossible. So that's the reason there was a myth that speakers are born, leaders are born. It's not true. All can achieve, all can do it if you want to do. It's just your willingness and your urge to do it, your interest level. So everybody can do that. So if you just brush up your skills, everybody can become a public speaker one day. Yes, next.
Hello everyone. Good evening,
I am
everyone.
Nikita Sanikot. I am from Belgavi, Karnataka. Currently, I am pursuing my post graduation from DVH IMSR, Dharwad. Thank you.
Very good, Nivita. Just a few things you need to keep in mind, like sound more enthusiastic, sound more, jovial, be very spontaneous a bit, and try to add some more points because here only your public speaking talent would be exposed. So be a little innovative and creative, but otherwise it's good. It's good. Just try to have some voice modulation. Okay, my name is Nikita. So this, the best way you can listen to the radio jockeys, the way they address the, crowd, the people, the entire nation, the entire people. They are, how enthusiastic they sound. Hey, welcome Bangalore. Yeah, good morning Bangalore. So it's just if by listening to them, the first thing when you listen in the morning, you feel so nice. Oh, welcome to the people of Bangalore. So that sounds really good. That strikes a very emotional chord of your heart. So just make it a little bit, very innovative and modulation, voice modulation a bit modulate. It's really important. Otherwise, it's good.
Thank you.
Next,
Hi ma'am. Good evening. Myself, Rupa
yes.
Jadimat. I am from Hubli. I have completed my PCA degree in local college. Now I am pursuing my MBA in DVH IMSR, Dharwad. About my family consists of four members: my father, mother, and sister. My father is a businessman, and mother is a housewife. Thank you.
Great, Rupa. Good, Rupa. Then again, one more thing. Just keep in mind your pitch, your punctuation, a bit pace. Like, don't be too fast or too slow. Have a moderate pace. Otherwise, it's really good. Anybody else would like to introduce?
Hello
Hello
guys,
everyone.
I'm
Yes,
I think one at a time.
Arun.
Yes.
Arun.
Okay.
I'm Arun Kumar and I'm from Bagalkot district and presently I'm pursuing MBA in DVH IMSR Dharwad. I'm very excited to do my MBA in DVH IMSR. Thank you.
Great, great, great. It's a good enthusiasm and very, you sounded really happy and spontaneous. Yes, it's really good. So I want everybody to be, happy, be really happy and love whatever you are doing. So automatically you tend to be spontaneous. And, these people, we were talking about the legends who delivered excellent speeches in front of the public. They were also very passionate about it. They loved whatever they were doing. So automatically it came out from their heart. So that's what is about public speaking.
Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Revati was trying to speak, I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Hello everyone. I'm Revati Parshuram Mandre. I'm from Ranavenur. I'm pursuing MBA in Virendra Hegde College. Thank you.
Great, Revati. Good voice modulation. Little more about you would have been better. We would love to hear from you more because about you, we would love to know you more. So you would have added some more sentences apart from your qualification, but it's otherwise really good.
Okay, ma'am. I will try it.
Sure. Anybody else?
Thank you. I think
Okay. So anybody, any questions regarding public speaking? Yes, Joy. Yeah, we have one more candidate here who would like to introduce. Yes, please.
Hello everyone, I'm Joy Hepzibah. As my name suggests, I always used to spread happiness and I like to be happy always. Um, and I'm currently pursuing my research as a research assistant being in Bharatiya University, Coimbatore. I'm from Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. And I did my MPhil in English in Bishop College, Coimbatore. and I am quite interested in doing outreach activities. For instance, I can tell you that I've been to um, a tribal home, children tribal home, which is situated in Kunjampanai, where as a part of outreach activity, when I was doing my UG, I went there. I've been with all the children, tribal children, and we actually, as a part of outreach activity, we have created so many programs for them. We had so many programs. We had a very fun time with them, and that has been included in my UG project also. We have documented everything, their lifestyle, their culture, how all those children behave, everything. So it was a very good experience that I wanted to share now. And apart from that, I am quite good at soft skills, I think, because when I was doing my MA in Bharatiya University, we had a 10 days training of soft skills, which was conducted by Infosys, by Scale Up team. Though it was a very less number of days, only 10 days, but I happened to learn a lot from that. And that 10 days of basement, which made me to brood over more on that. And when I was working in Bishop College, when I was doing MPhil, I was simultaneously working in Bishop College also as guest lecturer. So I was invited by same Bharatiya University as a guest speaker on to talk about soft skills and to train students who are in Tunnamattur school. So that is about my academics. Apart from that, I am a very good singer. I think I love music. That is why I'm not a trained singer though, but I like to sing by hearing music. People say like bathroom singers, right? So likewise, I also like to sing at bath. Not only that, but I've been also in part of church choirs. I used to sing. I'm a
Oh,
soprano singer. So we have four parts choir like alto, soprano, tenor, and bass. Like, I've been as a soprano singer, and that is all about me. And I like to hear more of music, with any music. And apart from that, I love to do gardening. And in my house, I have a mini garden, not so large, not in a very large space, but then I have mini garden. I always used to uh, grow new plants, and that's all about me. Thank you.
great, great, great. Nice to know you, and a lot of your activities really enthusiastic and very passionate about what you do. Really nice. Great. Anybody else? Any questions you have
Madam, I'm
regarding
sorry to
public
interrupt.
speaking? Yeah,
Madam, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
it's okay. Tell me.
Ma'am, I'm actually a faculty here. I just wanted to add one more point with famous public speakers in the world. One among them was Adolf Hitler.
Yes, Adolf Hitler.
For
Yes,
speaking
yes.
so effective that one of the greatest part of his thing was that he did not actually tell what he wanted to tell. He just made it clear that the Germans, he just communicated to the Germans what they wanted to hear, which means he actually was leading a political party that would really and actually solve their problem. That was an effective thing in his public speaking. That's
Yeah,
what
Kirti
made him
ma'am.
so great.
Kirti ma'am,
Yes,
very good evening. And what ma'am
Good
said
evening.
exactly right. See, political communication and political campaign, okay, it has no different purpose. And we say that, why Barack Obama, okay, who
Yeah,
became the
yeah, sir.
president of
Actually, I
US,
just wanted to.
yeah, one of the
Yes.
greatest communicators. No, I'm talking, in support of your views. And why, he won the US election? Because there was no hope. He just came out of nowhere and became the US president. That time only the one word came, okay, in the communication space, because he was the sailor of hope. Okay, he is the seller of hope. Okay, so as a politician, in their political manifestos, what they try to communicate, they sell the hope. But once they get win the government, or they form the government after winning the election, we don't know, okay, how many promises are kept or not. So I think that's very, very important what Kirti ma'am has rightly said. Now, Adolf Hitler, he spoke what German wanted to
Yes,
know.
no,
So I think
yes, I
that's
would
very
like
important.
to put some my views over here. What actually after the downfall of Germany in the First World War, like Germany was totally devastated and humiliated. So that time there were two parties who were trying to come up. That is Mussolini party and the Nazi party. Hitler was one, the leader of that. And what Hitler wanted to do is he just tried to bribe the Germans. Now I'm not talking about literal bribing with money or anything. He just tried to bribe the Germans by saying that I am here to bring back your lost glory. So all Germans were totally mesmerized and motivated by the way he said, like, I am here to bring back your lost glory. So everybody started flowing. So that was a punchline which made him really famous in the world. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I think, ma'am,
Anybody
this,
else? Any?
ma'am, you can take on, continue. I think no, a good number of students have introduced themselves.
Yeah. So, anybody else? Do you have any other questions as related to public speaking? Please, you can just shoot your questions. Anybody? Any doubt related to communication, articulation, public speaking, anything? Developing of the content. Now, I would like
Ma'am,
to.
one more thing.
Yes, yes, please. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Ma'am, I have encountered some issues from the student side asking for the concentration on hows of communication rather than words of communication. They are pretty brilliant in the ways they think, the ideas they recollect, the ways the information they have, the stuff of information they have, but they lack in the way they have to actually come on the stage when they come. That's the they are just on the blind spot. I mean, they're completely blind. Some of the students say that, and I have just assured them that the more you are blind, I mean, you will be asked to prepare for something, come back and then present it as much as possible, and that can definitely boost your confidence.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, right, ma'am. Like the best way is you can now. That is what you mentioned, Kiki, ma'am. Like they are lacking coherence. Okay. Now that is also part of public speaking. Coherence is very very important. So if somebody is lacking that coherence, I would always suggest that person to jot down the points. First, you jot down the points and then collate it and then present it. So that will work out. Definitely, it will work out, and it works out.
Ma'am, if I can take this question, because
Yeah.
what Kirti ma'am has said, and this is my experience as well. When I used to teach full time, there were some students from northern part of this northern part of India, so who were not so comfortable in speaking English, right? So there was a lot of difficulties while delivering lecture and understanding by them. At the same time, whenever any assignments were given at the time of presentation, they always had to know they need to they always wanted to avoid presentations because of their poor communication. So what I did, this is a real time experience. What I did, I took out the students separately in a counseling session. Then I explained, I tried to understand what exactly is stopping them to follow and to come forward and make the presentation. So they expressed themselves. Okay, it was very friendly discussion. Then I said, no problem, no matter. Okay, so if you're comfortable in Hindi, no, so you can make a presentations to start with mix of Hindi and English instead of avoiding complete presentations, and slowly you can start giving presentations full 100% in English. I know in the tutorial classes I tried to explain them in Hindi some of the concepts, and I had always used to call them whenever any small presentation is there, I used to give them the assignment first, give them the opportunity to ask questions. I used to ask a lot of questions to them and ask them, you respond to the questions. So I think a lot of things to do with the learning environment in the academic institution. We need to create a proper learning environment wherein students can find lot of enthusiasm. In the sense, I know most of the business schools, they subscribe to the newspaper, but how many business schools they ensure that students read the newspaper? Students know at least in the morning before the class starts, each student must talk at least 2 minutes about the latest update in the business India or business in the world. I think that's one way to look at it. Lot of presentations, lot of debates, discussions. Okay, we can have, we all have a lot of clubs, like innovation club, marketing club, finance club, and whenever students steps inside the campus, okay, it is mandatory that they should speak in English. Okay, because that's necessary. That's a part of the culture, right? And as a teacher, we should always need to encourage them, motivate them. They will make mistakes. We know they'll, because this is a learning. They have come to learn. Okay, there's nothing wrong that if I can't speak English, okay, properly, there is nothing wrong. I can speak in my mother tongue very well. But business world, they needs people with English communication. I think we should not confuse both the things. Some may be very good communicator in their mother tongue, but not in English. But I think he or she cannot defend that I speak well in my mother tongue. I think that may do well in some other walks of life. But as far as you are an MBA, okay, you will enter into the business world. Their requisites are different, so we need to develop. It's not that we all learn English by birth, right? It's good that we have learned one foreign language. Okay, I think any English-speaking person cannot speak Hindi or Kannada. Okay, to that matter. So we are always should be very very happy about that. But having said that, being in business schools, achieving an MBA degree, and all wants to enter into the corporate and progress in their career. So English is very, very essential. It's the business language. That's why it is called business language all over the world. And students need to improvise. And I am sure that I've seen through that students, those who are not so good at English in the beginning, okay, they picked up like anything. And they are fantastic speakers in the first semester where they were. And when they came to second semester and third semester, there is a sea change, in their behavior, in their outlook, in their personality, the way they communicate. So I think we need to build up a proper holistic learning environment, not inside the class, because structured teaching learning is around 30 to 40%. Okay, students, they learn outside the class around 60%, in the canteen, okay, in the library, when they informally communicate. So we need to ensure and encourage them that they communicate in English, right? That's very, very essential. We need to have a lot of group discussions and the case studies and the group activities wherein they need to communicate in English in front of us in the group. They need to make a group presentation. We need to ensure that everyone in the group speaks, not the group leader. Because some students, those who are not good at English, they always avoid and put somebody forward who is good at communications to make the presentations. So I think it is achievable. There is absolutely no problem. See, I'll give my example. I studied throughout in my mother tongue. When I entered MBA college, I had a lot of difficulties in speaking in English, but that could not stop me. I put a lot of extra efforts. I used to read this newspaper, make a lot of presentations. I used to listen to BBC News, then TV News, and try to communicate with everybody in English. And over a period of time, I picked it up. Now I can speak. Okay, there is no problem. And they should not lose their self-confidence, because I've seen that if someone is not good at speaking English and someone is very good at, the fellow who can't speak well, he or she always maintains very, very low spirit. There's nothing to do with that, because the other person studied in English school or convent school, or maybe from a family wherein no parents or other family members speak in English, so he or she picked up. What is wrong in that? Okay, I am not from that culture, so this is new for me. Though I need to put extra efforts and learn. So knowing English does not make someone king or prince or princess or someone down. But having said that, being in the business world, there is no excuse. We all need to learn English, and the proper English, proper business communication. And if you see the worldwide, the business learning English itself is the around $600 billion business in the world. Okay, IELTS, TOEFLs, okay, thousands, no, millions of people are pursuing for higher studies or job abroad, even in India as well. So, okay, so let us embrace. That's why, while discussing in our board, I thought why not to keep a program on public speaking, because it seems like, no, like communications, but this is needed. This is much needed. Maybe the no we don't give much focus on this, but I think this is the need of the hour. We have a lot of programs on communication and public speaking, and eventually we connected with no, Dr. Paramita, and we thought why not to bring her for this program, having expertise in corporate and academics. Yes, Paramita ma'am, please take over.
Yeah. Now, I would like to also mention, like, if you go and read Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, you will come across a character named by the name Mark Antony, who was an excellent orator. Now, what happened is that the minute Julius Caesar was stabbed and he was dead, the Mark Antony, the way he persuaded the citizens of Rome to move against the murderers, it is really outstanding. That is called public speaking. If you please take some time out after the session, or whenever you have time, just type it out in Google, or you can go to YouTube and listen to the speech of Mark Antony. It's just outstanding. So he just addressed Romans, countrymen. So the way he addressed, like, Brutus was an honorable man because Brutus had stabbed Caesar to death. So he said, though Brutus was an honorable man, he did not degrade Brutus, but the way he persuaded through his excellent oratory, all the Romans went against Brutus and Cassius. So that you must go ahead and go back and listen to that. Anybody else, any other question?
Ma'am, is there any difference between public speaking and business communication or speaking?
Yes. See, business communication, as Professor Datta was mentioning, it's very formal. Okay, it's very formal. But in public speaking, you need not. It is semi-formal. I would say it's not completely formal. Sometimes it is semi-formal because it depends upon the audience that you are targeting, and then you can go ahead and communicate. But and coming back to the business arena, or from the business perspective, it is very formal. The way you communicate to your clients, the investors, then to your boss, it's totally different. Yes, it is different.
Thank you, ma'am.
And one more thing, you need to maintain lot of etiquette, as Professor Datta was mentioning, like email etiquette, like the way you communicate, and like it depends upon the person you are interacting with. If it's an overseas boss from US, you need to communicate in a different tone. You need to go very slowly, at a very slow pace, with a lot of articulation, voice modulation. But in public speaking, that much is not required. It can be semi-formal also. Yes, anybody else, any other questions, please? No more questions from the audience?
No, I can go ahead.
Okay, so in case if you have no more questions, Professor Datta would like to talk and take over on this.
Yes, ma'am.
He wanted to address the students, and yes, you can now take over. They don't have any questions at any point, this point of time. If they have any, I am ready to answer. Yes, please.
Yes. Very good evening, one and all. It was very interesting session, and Dr. Paramita ma'am has touched upon different facets of communication and how we can improvise our communication skill, what is the need for effective communication, and how it is different from business communication, and the three P's of communication, very interesting, and a lot of practical examples. And as far as business communication is concerned, being from the management domain, so if you have any questions, you are most welcome. But before that, let me say a few things, as far as the communication is concerned. And see, there is a very beautiful quote. A life not by default, but a life by designing. I think that's very, very important, because all of us, we are from a different socio-economic, cultural setup, different. Every one of us is unique, right? Number one. Second, every one of us did not get the same kind of privilege and the facility during our childhood. We do agree with that. Having said that, but that cannot stop someone to learn new tools and techniques, or to prosper in life. There are ample examples wherein people from a very, stories of, rags to riches. There are many stories. There are many motivational stories in and around social media. I think, no, there is no stop. If you want to do something, if you want to learn something. And as Paramita ma'am has rightly said, that this communication, whether it is public speaking or other forms of communications, it's a skill, right? It's a skill set, and any skill can be learned. That's very, very important. So you need to understand that communication is a skill, and we all of us can learn this particular skill. And this public speaking, as far as public speaking is concerned, a lot of questions were there from public speaking and the business communication. And I also made some interjections in between. What is business communication, the horizontal, lateral, and the vertical communications, and the different forms of communications, whether it is retail, verbal, or non-verbal communications, or communications through email, or the video communication, right? So nowadays, this session is happening on virtual mode, right? And a lot of meetings are happening. That's also one kind of communications, and those are video communications. So how effectively we can communicate on the web? That's, I think, new format of communication because of this pandemic last 2.5 years. We are teaching, learning, and the corporate meetings, everything is happening online, and that's the blessings of pandemic. One of the blessings of pandemic, that being from different parts of the country, we are able to connect with each other over the internet, and this is also one kind of communication. And how we can engage the participants on virtual mode, I think that's also equally very, very important. And we see that number was a little bit higher side in the beginning of the session. Now it is 39. So few participants, they might feel that the session is very extended one, or they may have some other works reason. That's fine. That's exactly fine. Now, in the communications, in the business communication, I'm sure you all are MBA first semester students, and you have the subject called business communication. And there are a lot of theories as far as communication is concerned. Is there? Those are essential. And you must go through properly. Like we should not use what ma'am said, that very complex words, right? A good communicator always simplifies the concept. You must understand that a good communicator always simplifies the complex things and try to put it across in a simple words. That's very, very important. And you should not use double meaning words. Double meaning words that we try to avoid, or the word has same pronunciation, right, or different meaning. Or that's also we try to avoid whenever we are trying to make any effective communication. Try to become simple. Try to put across your thoughts. What time and again this point has come up. We should be passionate about what we're trying to do, and being honest. Honest is communication. Humility and honesty in communication. That's very, very important. If you have the honesty, what you're trying to say, even if you falter, you make mistake, you will touch the heart of other person. 100%. I am convinced. I am very, very much sure. People will understand. People will see through the genuineness, the authenticity, the honesty in your communication. Can we be honest in our communication? I think that's very, very important. Okay, it's okay, fine. Okay, this modulation, okay, this okay, speaking and all those aspects absolutely required. But honest in communication is also equally important, because at the time when world is going through difficult phases, we have seen how people are communicating no over the social media. I think communication over the social media is another context. Okay, is also one kind of public speaking. Only we're not putting no the words in our mouth, but we're trying to communicate with the rest of the world. Okay, through social media platform. Okay, so that's also one kind of communications, and we have seen know how people have come forward and helping the needy people, those who were in trouble for last 2.5 years. Okay, during the COVID period. So I think this communication, the subject itself, okay, is a very vast subject, and there is no other way than to know practice, practice, practice. Okay, practice makes one perfect. I'll not put the word man, because ma'am was telling no, no, not man, everyone. So practice makes one perfect. Okay, and once you practice one thing time and again, it becomes a habit. And what it becomes a habit, it becomes part of your behavior. It becomes part of your behavior. It becomes your personality. So every time you behave as a natural. Okay, so naturality comes in your persona. I think that is very, very important. That is very, very important in all forms of communications. Now, having said that, just I'm trying to summarize what we all have been since now 3 o'clock. Now, if anyone is having any specific question, you can feel free to ask, and I'll try to moderate that. Anyone is having any question, please? Because this will be we are into the final stage of the program. So I would like to take up some of the questions, and this may be specific to your subject or a specific. Okay, anything. Yes, Revati, I can see Arun, Nikita.
So actually, when we try to pronounce certain words, no, we don't know how exactly it is pronounced, because the accent ours will be different, and the person will be there will be some difference. For that,
Yes.
know how we can improve.
Yes, Nikita.
Yes, I will take up this question. Okay, fine. Okay, Nikita, the thing is that, yes, we are right. You are absolutely right. Like the way we pronounce the word, it will be entirely different, and the pronunciation of the actual word would be different. Now, the best way is just remember that we follow the British English, not the American English. So you can just go to Google, type out the word, and there will be an icon, the pronunciation. You can just click on that button. There will be two accents. One is British, one is American. So you can just come to know the actual pronunciation of the word. That's the best way you can know. Now, because now technology is in our hands, so you can just literally find out the real pronunciation of the word. It's very easy to know. And just remember that we follow British English, not American English.
Mama, the one book which I refer is Norman Lewis, Word Power Made Easy. In
Word
that,
power made
actually,
easy. Yes, yes.
with that I try to pronounce certain words which I don't understand, and that may be helpful, no, ma'am, for to develop vocabulary.
Yeah, a little bit
Yes, yes,
understanding of phonetics.
yes.
I
Yeah,
think
Nikita, the best way is instead of going through the book, you can just listen, because effective listening will have a different impact on us. So it will just register in our mind. So if you have any confusion with any particular pronunciation of the word, just Google, press on the pronunciation button. Remember, we follow the British accent. Just go ahead with the correct pronunciation of that word.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
That is the best way.
absolutely, Nikita. So, little bit, if I would like to add on,
You're welcome.
okay, see this phonetics, okay, the way you pronounce a word, what ma'am said exactly right. Today we have the no Google, wherein you can just type a word and you can listen to it how it is pronounced. That perfectly fine, and we must ensure that we pronounce the word correctly, because whenever we communicate with the correct pronunciation, that makes a different impact. okay, on the audience. Okay, but that always you can improvise, but that should not no stop you from making communication with others in English. Okay, that there are different ways to improvise, and when you use the word time and again, okay, you listen to it. That's what I said, you must listen to okay, news channel, English news channel, YouTube videos are there. More you listen to the videos and the YouTube news channel or the audio podcast and all, okay, definitely you can improvise, okay, the pronunciation of the words. Wonderful, Nikita, very good question. And great, Paramita ma'am, you said rightly, today technology is
Uh,
available. Yes, please.
uh, Dr. Saab,
Saha sir, please sir.
some feedback in communication. Feedback. How one gets feedback?
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So we have with us majority of the today's participants are no management students from Virendra Hegde Institute of Management Science and Research. Okay, and along with that we have no one research scholar, we have one assistant professor from different college, and we have some more participants, and we have a very senior participant and my good friend and former colleague in Indian Air Force. I said that he is presently the director of National Institute of Open Schooling, very respected institution, governmental institutions, Mr. MP Sahasar. And what sir wanted to know that feedback in communication. I think that's how we can know the feedback of communications, what we are trying to communicate, whether no receiver is receiving able to. That's what in communication subject in business communication you will find out in the beginning, first chapter itself, the model of communication: sender, encode, media, receiver, decode means interpretation, then comes the feedback. Now how we can get the instant feedback, how we can understand whether really the receivers have received the message correct or not. In case of any classroom teaching learning, it's very easy, right? When as a teacher we make effective teaching, okay, we if we look at the faces of the students, we can make out, okay, if they look blank, okay, if they're not paying attention, if they are no moving their eyes here and there, okay, talking with their friends, that means no, my lecture or my session is not interesting. Number one. Second, okay, they may not be able to absorb or understand what I'm trying to put across. So the best way is to look at their faces, their behavior pattern, and second, to ask questions. Okay, immediately. Okay, don't let it be not monologue kind of thing. We take a session of 45 minutes at a stretch, and at the end we ask few questions. By the time no bell rings and the class time is over, I think every 5-10 minutes we can ask one or two questions no to the students, and now make it really very very interesting. Now what I used to do no, as a teacher when I was full-time teaching, now I do visiting faculty. See, I tell the students after teaching a particular no unit, okay, you make a question paper of 5 questions of 10 marks, okay, and 10 objective type multiple choice questions, okay, some complex solving questions, situation questions. Now this is one of the way to find out they have really understood or not, because making question is very very tough. One can make the questions if they have understood the contents and they have the answers, okay, handy. So that's another way to find out. And the other way to check their feedback, definitely to call them and make small presentations or give them some kind of assignments, okay, and or group study or group work, group project, small mini project we can assign to them, and let them come back in the next class. I think these are the ways to exactly find out whether whatever we're trying to put across, students are able to understand or not. I think these feedback mechanisms are very very important. Now one is feedback, one is feed forward. Okay, feed forward is also one kind of feedback. Now in the feed forward mechanism, what we try to do before entering into the class, we try to look at the composition of the class. Composition of the class, how homogeneous or heterogeneous the class is, what is their background, UG background. See, if all are from BSc or science background, if I take statistics subject, so definitely I can have understanding that they will absorb the idea well. If some from liberal arts, some from BCom, and some are BCA, BSc, all different, very heterogeneous group. In that case, definitely if I want to teach statistics subject, I believe that I have to fulfill the needs of each category of students in the class, because class is highly heterogeneous. Knowing that, I'll customize my lesson plan, knowing that I'll customize my teaching. Okay, I'll come to their level and know for each category of students, and I'll be able to teach properly. Then I think probably the feedback would be awesome. So there are two types of feedback. One is feed forward, knowing them and then communicating with them, and second one is the feedback. Once I deliver something, then try to understand whether really they have absorbed the concepts or not. And there are different tools and techniques, as I rightly mentioned. Even in the counseling session, okay, counseling session or a special tutorial session, we can make out. Now, not all students go for tutorial. Okay, those who are slow learners, slow performers, they go for tutorial extra classes, okay, which are designed in the business schools or in the colleges. So tutorials definitely means they're not able to absorb properly. Now they are not able to absorb properly, okay, it's not the fault of them. Okay, maybe sometimes teacher is not able to convey properly, or maybe sometimes the students learning ability to learn or absorb the concepts, they may be a little bit slow learners. They need the special tutorial class. So nothing wrong in that. Nothing wrong in that. But we get the feedback that all are not able to receive what we're trying to communicate to them. So there's always no feedback. Taking feedback is a must in any kind of communication. Now in political campaign, political this campaign, or whenever any leader goes in a public forum, okay, there is no way to take the feedback, right? One leader comes and give a lecture, political leader, and goes back. Okay, now number of participants they come to listen, it's all manipulated. They're paid and bring back to a particular ground to listen to the leader. So we cannot say that because the number of people are more to listen to a particular leader, that means leader is a good speaker or feedback is good. Now feedback probably may be the election result, okay, how the leader is able to communicate their political manifesto and created a hope. Once again, I'm saying that hope. I think in that case we can find out, yes. But even in case of TV communication, how we can find out the feedback? One person is trying to, one host is communicating for any particular business show in TV, and how that fellow can take the feedback? Most likely, if the TRP, okay, television rating point for the particular TV show is on higher side, then definitely people are paying attention, means the feedback is good. But in many of the cases, we may not be able to get the feedback in the public speaking as far as I'm concerned. But feedback is very, very essential, or some or other forms we get the feedback, like any advertising campaign, right? Any promotional campaign we design for our product and services, and we launch that promotional campaign. Now, what is the feedback? Can we get the immediate feedback? Definitely, if we meet and do a market survey and meet one-to-one customers, then we can get the feedback. Otherwise, the feedback is, if the product sales go up, that means there is a positive feedback. So we can quantify in that way as well. But whatever formats of communications, at rightly Mahesh sir has said, because feedback is very, very essential in any kinds of communication, whether it's business communication or any other formats of communications. And we must and should try to get the feedback, because that will help us, okay, to improve ourselves. That will help us in the business performance or in whatever purpose we are communicating with our target audience. Yes, Mahesh sir, please.
It was very fine. The teachers who teaches in classes, he get back feedback by result of the students. If they have understood, they have communicated well, that comes into that through result. How many are 90%, 100%, 80%? That is the result and feedback of the teacher.
Yes, absolutely. So definitely now I'll give a counter example to Mahesh sir. There was one professor from IIT who is passed out from IIT Madras and was part of our faculty team, and he used to teach the business statistics subject. He was very terrific in statistics. He used to teach well, okay, and but the performance in the university result, the students' performance was not up to the mark, and some of the students who did not attend the classes, they did well. Very counter feedback mechanism. So I think to some extent, students' performance in the result may not be exactly the feedback, because result is the outcome of different factors. It's not about only the classroom teaching learning, but definitely in a conventional mode, even in the teacher's performance, we give weightage on students' performance in academic result. But nowadays, okay, the experts, they don't take it 100%. They say that there may not be any direct relevance. Definitely, weightage has to be given, but the students result in the board exam and the teacher's performance in the class, okay, may not be the exact the feedback, because there are so many other factors involved in the students performance. In the case of the question paper framed, who framed the question paper, who evaluated the question papers. Very surprisingly, I'll say that evaluation part itself, there is a lot of no there are a lot of variations. If I evaluate a paper, other person evaluates a paper, there are a lot of variations are there. Okay, and so on and so forth. These all are personal experience, but as rightly Shahasar has said, definitely the board result, okay, it shows the feedback, how the classes are taken, whether teachers are effective or not, but not to 100%, because there are so many other reasons when students get good marks in the board exam. It may not be exactly because the students, teachers did not teach, okay, because we have seen, okay, many students, no, we have seen that they did not attend classes, they scored FCT in the, okay, exam. Okay, so, but having said that, we have to give weightage, okay, and that's this is practical. Wonderful, sir. Sir, very good, fantastic. Yes. Any other
Sir, I
question?
would like to give the feedback.
Yes, Kirti ma'am. Yes.
Sir. So the session was really wonderful. I mean, ma'am also has added so many new collaborative kind of thinking. You know, so much of illustration, so many examples, elaborative, session which she actually displayed in front of the students. She made students speak up by introducing themselves in an innovative way, and the most comprehensive explanation what you added on, that was a value addition what we got. So it was really a great session, sir. On behalf of DVH IMSR family, that is our MBA Institute, on behalf of my beloved director, Dr. H.N. Shivprasad, and my all faculty members, I am very thankful for the sessions which you have organized today. And, already you have earned the success. So I am really wishing you well, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Kirti ma'am, and the director of Virendra Hegde Institute of Management Science and Research, Dr. H.N. Prasad sir, my good friend, and Mr. Mahesh Saha, director of National Institute Open School, and Ms. Joy Hepzi, the research scholar of Harter University, so many other delegates, and the young, bright minds of Virendra Hegde Institute of Management Science and Research, the MBA first semester students. Thank you so much for all of your presence this afternoon, Sunday afternoon, with us. And thank you, Dr. Paramita ma'am, for sparing your time and valuable time and sharing your experience. It was a wonderful session and a lot of learning for me as well. I was throughout the session, and definitely no, this kind of, we need more this kind of interactions, and we need your presence also in our forthcoming sessions. We're trying to do some good sessions, no, in the communications, in the business communication, or the English, maybe in the IELTS or in some other domains connected with the English, because today we don't find no many experts in the English literature or in the communication subjects. Thank you so
Sir.
much.
Sir, excuse
Bola
me,
sir, I
sir.
would
Sorry
like to
to.
one thing.
Yes, yes.
Uh, this type of session, see, no one is perfect, right? But it will bring them to near perfection.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My sir, thank you so much. Okay, you are my good friend and well wisher. Yes.
I enjoyed and I find much better presentation by both of you. I thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you, ma'am,
Kirti
and
ma'am.
thank you, sir, for giving us a
Thank
great.
you. Thank you.
And ma'am, I'm sure that a few of our students would also like to give feedback to you. I request some students to
Yeah, sure.
volunteer them.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm really curious to give a feedback here. So even I got to know really the new words and new things and new contents while giving the public speaking and all. I didn't know about these all things, as ma'am said, and I'm really I'm really for excited that further I will be continuing with the whatever the guidance or guidelines given by the madam. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's our pleasure.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Kirti ma'am, Dr. ma'am, Mr. Mahesh
Thank
Saha
you,
sir,
sir. Thank you,
and
ma'am.
all the
Thank you,
esteemed
sir.
participants. Thank you, today's resource sharing person. We don't call it resource sharing person, Dr. Paramita ma'am. And so let us call it a day. We'll catch up in some of the other sessions as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Namaskar.
much. Thank you so much.
Catch up,
Thank you,
catch up.
sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, ma'am. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.